Hi, everyone. It's been a while. Quite a while. Hope everyone had a good Christmas, New Year's. I did not. Oh, come on, go. Woo. Start coughing. I did not. Over Christmas and New Year's, my mom died. But I wanted to get back into this because I really enjoy it, and I need to start moving forward. But I will start with saying I'm so thankful that I got to spend the last 6 weeks of her life with her every day, every single day. So, on my other channel, I have been doing my meditations. I do meditations, and we're doing animal archetypes. So we've done the wolf. I've done the wolf and the owl. So now I'm going to do tarot readings that kind of go with that kind of meditation. And right here we have the wolf, and it's a wolf love spread, and it's, are you with the right person? Now, if you watch the meditation, you'll know where this is going and why I asked that question. In the wolf meditation, you find out if you're in the wolf season, whether that means you're walking alone, figuring out who you can trust. It's a wolf guided journey to figure yourself out. And you go into deeper instinct and intuition and boundary work. So in a love spread, we have, are you with the right person? So I have 3 different decks, and each of them have the moon because each of them have a wolf in it, even though, little baby wolf. So you, using your intuition, can pick which pile you think is going to resonate and talk with you. If there's more than one pile, I invite you to look at both or all 3 if you think there might be a message in there for you. I'm also going to do crystals and hi, don't move. And these are your Zodiac. I personally like Zodiac because it kind of gives you a little boost. It's like, I picked this one. Am I kind of on the right track? And I always am. Always. I hope that works for you too. But let's start with crystals. People really like crystals. We're going to do that. So for pile number 1, with this moon card, we have this Chrysocolla. Boop. That's so pretty. With this moon card, we have this. Hi, you're going to stay right there. And that is a yellow jasper. See the theme? Kind of going with it. Kind of match the cards. Yeah. And then with this moon, did I not? I probably did not. Wow. Cut that out and post it. That's pile 2. Pile 3, which I threw all the way over here, that's pile 3. And the crystal for pile 3, boop, is a marble. Not a marble, marble. Oh, give me grace. All right. If that helps you pick a pile, I ask you to go there now. But if you are waiting, like I always do for Zodiac, let's do that. These were laid down, face down. I have no idea which is which. We're going to find out together. Did I just put my arm over the flame? That's beautiful. Okay, Gemini, I want to use this arm. And Sagittarius. And Scorpio. And Capricorn. For pile 2, we're going to look at Libra, Leo, Aries, and Taurus. And for pile 3, Aquarius, Virgo, Pisces, and Cancer. So if that helped you pick your pile, I ask you to go there now, and I will see you in your reading of Are You With the Right Person? See you there. Well, hi, pile one. You picked this card possibly for this moon card, maybe for the Chrysler Cola, or maybe for your Zodiac, which we'll put right over here. That could be sun, moon, rising, your favorite planet, any position that you feel is talking to you right now. That's perfect. So we're going to do a 5-card spread. Okay, and this is about, are you with the right person? So the first one is instinct. Okay, so the first question is, what did my gut feel from the beginning? So that establishes the truth before rationalizing. What did you feel in the beginning? The beginning of your relationship? Or maybe the beginning of when you started to question things. What did you feel right before there? In the beginning, what did you feel? What was your instinct? You'll notice that all these questions are going to have a bit of a wolf theme wording. So instinct is first. Okay. The first thing you felt was the Hierophant. Perfect. Is that too high? There you go. The next one is territory. What environment does this relationship create for you? How does this relationship feel day after day? We're going to talk about safety and stress and confusion and joy. What is the environment of your relationship? How do you feel every day in this relationship? Page of Wands. Very nice. Well, how about 3? 3 is the pack. Do you move as a team, or are you feeling alone? You feel supported, or do you feel isolated? What is your dynamic? That's the 2 of Wands. So let's see, how many can we get in here? Okay, so the next one is boundary. What boundary of yours gets crossed or respected? This shows the core health of your connection. Are your boundaries getting crossed, or they are respected? And you got the 9 of Pentacles. Now we're going to go into detail on these because I have to see all the numbers before they come out. That helps so much. 9 of Pentacles. What's the last one? Well, I already got it. It's the howl. Is your voice heard, or is it silent? So the purpose, did I say this is a 5 card? This is a 6 card because this is number 5. How is your communication? Do you feel that you are heard, or do you feel that you are silenced? Wow, you got the 5 of Swords. One more. Okay, I know I said 5, but it's 6. And this is the path forward. What is the healthiest next step for you? There's a lot of ways to interpret. Stay and adjust, detach and observe, walk alone, seek support, open the conversation. What is the best and healthiest next step in your relationship? Because we want to know, is this the right person? We might be pulling more cards. But let's get into that right now. Put these over here. All right, so we're going to start with the Hierophant. That's your instinct. Grab it. Here we go. That's your instinct. From the beginning, you thought, okay, this is going to be a relationship where, where you're together, maybe they're a little older, maybe you think they're a little more knowledgeable, and you like this. You like that. Maybe they're making the decisions. Maybe they're making you feel very comfortable. You're comfortable in this relationship. You're rationalizing that this is kind of the way it should be. Okay, you're thinking that maybe other people are telling you, like, you don't have to be critical. You can see things work out. Don't worry about things. You're kind of being told that this is a good relationship. You're being told, you're kind of not possibly thinking for yourself. You're being told, hey, listen to your elders, listen to people who are further along in their relationship. Your first instinct is that you're going to listen to other people. Your first instinct was, okay, I'll give it some time. I'll give it some room to stretch its legs and get comfortable in this relationship. You know what I mean? You're thinking this is a way a relationship goes because this is what you're being told. Or maybe this is what you've seen. You've seen your parents, maybe your best friends. You've seen relationships and you're thinking, well, this is how relationships go. So that's your first instinct. Yeah, this is probably normal. But let's get into it. So now we're going to look at territory. And territory, we got the Page of Wands. So what is this relationship creating for me? Like day to day. Well, you're finding it, every day is different. Every day is kind of exciting sometimes. You're finding that you're learning things about each other. Kind of exciting being in this relationship. It looks like from this, it's kind of a new relationship. Could be wrong, but that's kind of what it's saying. It's saying that right now, I'm not going to say honeymoon period, but I'm saying that, you guys are still learning things about each other. You guys are still going out and having those date nights. Those things that you do in the beginning and sometimes in the middle, not usually in the end, unless you're really, really healthy and you didn't settle. You know what I mean? You're still in that phase where you're kind of still getting to know each other. Maybe you're still having arguments about silly things, but they're silly and lighthearted and still kind of feels new. It still kind of feels fun. So the territory here is telling me that sometimes that can be confusing because maybe you're avoiding things. Maybe you're not talking things out as much, but you are in that stage where you're still learning about each other. So day to day is still kind of, up and down as life is, right? Nothing wrong with that. Then we're going to go look at the boundary. And you have the Two of Wands. So is your boundaries being crossed or respected? This is the core health of the connection. And what this can be saying is that in the relationship, someone is, hey, this is fun. This is good. You've got a lot of, you've got some young energy here. So they're there, but they're kind of, I'm not going to say keeping their options open. I'm going to say they're kind of looking forward. They're not questioning. They are contemplating if there is a future in this relationship. It kind of depends. Do you feel like you're doing things as a team or you're doing it alone? Well, the Two of Wands is saying it's a future looking. There's no action in it, but there's future looking. You could be both looking at the future, or one of you are looking and saying, is there a future here? Right? So the health of the connection, we're going to look at the other ones, but the health of the connection is there is future thinking. We're going to see if that future thinking is together or maybe one-sided. Okay, so we're going to keep going with that. And we've got other cards over here to help clarify. But there is some future thinking, which quite possibly was great. So now we're going to look at the Nine of Pentacles, and we're on number 4. 4 is boundary. Is your boundary being crossed or respected? This is really the core health. And the Nine of Pentacles, you feel grounded, you feel very secure, you feel very seen, you feel respected, you kind of demand it. You want to have very clear boundaries. You want to have those discussions where it's like, I will accept this, I won't accept this. The Nine of Pentacles shows that this can be a very healthy connection. This can be a very healthy place to be. You are listening to each other's boundaries. You are listening to each other's concerns, what you will accept, what you won't accept. It looks like you've created these things that are present in a healthy relationship, which goes back to the 2 where you're looking forward. So if you have these beautiful boundaries already there, then future looking is very healthy. Looks very good for the relationship so far. Now we're going to look at 5, and that's the howl, and that's when we start to see a little bit of So howl, is your voice being heard or is it silenced? This is communication. And in the 5 of Swords, underneath there, someone is feeling like there's something sneaky going on, or there's some undercurrent that is not in your best interest. You feel that there might be a power struggle, that maybe there's something on their phone that they protect and don't want you to see, and you're like, why? Well, why can't we discuss what you're hiding? Do you see what I mean? There's some kind of feeling, or there's some kind of action that is making you feel that there's something else. There's something I don't know. There's something that feels sneaky or feels underhanded. Is that in your head? Maybe. But if you feel you can't discuss it, if you're shot down every time you say, what are you doing on your phone? Why are you constantly who are you constantly texting? Who are you constantly going to see, at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and you don't invite me? What is going on? I feel like there is something else that is in our relationship that I do not know about, or I am not privy to, or you are keeping from me. There is something here. And you feel that instinctively. You feel that, hey, I don't feel that you are giving me the answers that I need. Right? Because right here you're saying, look, I have boundaries. And I want them respected. And then we come to this and it's like, yeah, we have boundaries. We're quite healthy with that. But there's things that you won't talk to me about. There's things information that you won't give me that I ask for. So you're kind of being shut down in some areas of this relationship. Right? It looks great and healthy so far. And this is the problem too. This is what's sneaking up. When I said that you were talking about your future, you know what I mean? Are you a team or are you feeling alone? Well, there's moments that you are feeling alone. And you're wondering, are they thinking about a future with me or without me? Because there's something that's going on that I don't know about. And I want to know. And if it's something innocent and, they're not protecting me by not telling me. Okay. I need to be in frame and look over sometimes. Right? So there is future thinking, and maybe you're worried that the future that they're thinking about doesn't include you. And so you're wondering, am I going to be able to talk about this? Are they going to talk to me about that? Are they kind of feeling a little bit distant? Are they the ones that thinking of a future without me? You guys are having such a good time, and you're finding things out about each other, and you're thinking that this is the regular way to have a relationship. You're feeling that this is like a normal everyone's telling me what a great partnership we have, and then this is just in the background. This is just like there's something that's picking at you, and you're looking to put your finger on it, and it's like is there someone else? Is it an ex? Is this ex like texting all the time? There's something. right? So here's the path forward. Here is the resolution, solution. What's the healthiest next step? And I say this, and here we are, and we got the Two of Swords. Do you see what's happening here? Yeah. So this tells me that you kind of know what's going on, and you're not going to deal. You're not going to deal. You're not going to make a decision. Or someone's not going to make a decision because they're afraid that if they say something, do something, admit something, that it's going to change this whole relationship. It's going to change. So they would rather say nothing because they enjoy your company. You enjoy their company. You know, you're having fun together. You're learning about each other. But there is this one thing, and this one thing that needs to be discussed is not. And you're not discussing it. You're not talking about it. And it's being ignored. So what this tells me is the path forward looks like you're not willing to see or make a decision about something. Whether that is being very bold and saying, look, I have boundaries when it comes to phones, right? If you're going to be texting other people, you need to let me know, because that tells me you're leaking energy. That tells me that all the energy that you have is not centered on us. And I need to know that, because if I'm going to be putting a ton of energy into our relationship, if I'm going to be thinking about our future, I need to know that you're there with me, that it's our future. Okay? And somebody doesn't want to have that conversation. Somebody's like, I like it the way it is. We don't need to talk about this. And this tells me too, right? The howl that, you know, you're kind of being silenced about it. You're being shut down when you bring it up. You're being guilted when you bring it up. You feel there's something, and either you're ignoring it or they're ignoring it completely. So the path forward might be, you might have to take that blindfold off. You might have to find out where you really stand. And maybe it's innocent. But you need to have that conversation. You need to have that clarity. And right now you don't. You see, the moon's behind her. And the moon is illusion, right? It's in the dark. You see the moon best when it's dark skies, right? You don't see your environment as well. You don't see everything. So when the moon's there, you don't get the clarity you need. And not only that, you now have a blindfold on. You're really not seeing it. You're not seeing what's really going on. You're not seeing what you need to see to figure out, is this the person you should be with? You need to have that conversation. So we're going to do some clarifiers with this, because we need to know which one should we do. Well, this tell us, but let's find out. Give us a little more information. Give us, yeah, okay, just fall right out. We'll take it. Give us a little more information. What's going on? So we have the hot seat. Well, that's about talking. That's having that. That's demanding. Not demanding. I mean, it could be demanding. How about, that's putting the other person in the hot seat. That is saying, we need this conversation. We must have this conversation. Right? This blindfold needs to come off for you to see if this is the right person. You can't blindly feel the Five of Swords, feel this doubt, feel that there is something intuitively happening that you don't know about. You can't just sweep it under the rug. So, hot seat. That's a great card. You need to know. And what's this one? The camera guy. Oh my goodness. So that is doing the hard work. That is doing diligent work. It's probably going to take some sleuthing. It's probably going to take some continually telling them that you need to know these things to feel. I'm going to do more cards because honestly, that's not enough. You need to know what is going on. You need to be very diligent. You need to be very constantly like, hey, in the hot seat, hey, I'm going to ask questions. Hey, this is a healthy way for people to grow together, is like having these hard conversations that, you know, you're avoiding. You need them. You need to put them in a hot seat. Oh, so we got some red flags going on. Because this tells me the reason that you are, and you know, it's red, right? Red. Maybe in the background of you guys learning things, you're seeing red. You're seeing some red flags. Very appropriate here. But that red mask, no, that red blindfold, that is the red flag that is in front of your eyes and you won't see it. Do you see where that's going? There is something you don't want to see, but you know. You don't want to make that choice. You don't want to make the choice that might change your relationship. Whether you make a boundary that says, you know what, you can't text your ex anymore. No, we're in a relationship. She, he, they are not part of it. So having any relationship with them is out of bounds. And if they fight you on that, there's your red flag. But you need to know what you're dealing with. You need to know if that energy is leaking somewhere else. So we're going to get a few more things going on here. We got confusion. I feel unclear about where we stand. Well, yeah. Hi, you go right there. Like, honestly, that is kind of what the background river is saying, isn't it? It's like, okay, yeah, I'm kind of confused why, you know, this behavior is here. Kind of confused why you would, you know, still be texting, or you might be liking this one certain person's Instagram all the time, and now you're kind of talking like, hey, that's kind of confusing when you're with me. Confusion, sure. Irreplaceable. The way you love can never be matched. Take that in. Take that in and know for yourself that you are irreplaceable. You are a catch. Okay, so I got 2 phone calls and then my dog peed on the floor because he's an old dog and I've ordered diapers for him, which is more information than you need. Oh, life so far. Okay, so please know that you, I don't know if I've already discussed this, but you are irreplaceable and you need to know your worth, right? That is the 9 of Pentacles. Energy right there. You need to know your worth. You need to know that if someone is not willing to meet your boundaries and meet your standards, doesn't matter what went before, doesn't matter what other relationships agreed on. This is your relationship and you are saying, I am not accepting that. You are not going to leak energy into other people. The energy should be put on us. The energy should put on us to grow together. The energy should put us on us as we want to plan our future, right? So if you're feeling confused, you should know you are irreplaceable, that you are worth someone putting their energy, time, and decisions with you. You are worth that. You need to know that. And if they do lose you, if you decide, hey, I am not going to stay in this confusion, I am not going to be the last person to know what's actually going on here. If you decide to leave, know that this other person will say, I will never find such a great person like that. It might take a day, a week, a month, but they will figure out, if you do decide to leave, that you are irreplaceable. Know that. Okay? There are some red flags that you do have to look at. Ignoring them is not the healthiest choice. So are you with the right person? Maybe, but there's got to be adjustments. There's got to be discussions. There's got to be things that you two need to agree on. There's a lot coming out here. That tells me that we're on the right path. That tells me that there's still a lot to discuss. So we have trust. Now, I think that is definitely part of so many things. I'm going to put this down. So many things that are going on, right? You've got this 5 of Swords that is really mucking up your relationship, and you're feeling confused, and you need to trust the other person. Guard your heart. Not everyone deserves your trust. So that might be that red flag, that you are trusting someone who is not deserving of it, or it is possibly using your good nature to do things that they know it's not right. Right? What else have we got? Falling fast. Love happens quickly, but don't lose yourself in the process. Right? So we might be going back to this Hierophant. Maybe that is something you know about yourself, is that you do fall fast. And maybe you ignore these red flags because you love love. Is that a thing for you? You love love, and you consciously don't look at the things that you should look at. I'm putting that right in front while I'm pointing out. You don't look at the things that you should be looking at, right? If there are actions going on that are not in your best interest, don't ignore them, right? Falling fast can be good, can be bad. So, true love, a deep and enduring connection, going beyond superficial attraction. This is what you want. This is what you want. This is why you fall fast. You see something so good. You see something that you want. You think this is true love. They are love bombing you. They are giving you all the things that you ever wanted. Oh, they're saying all the words that you ever wanted to hear. You think, oh, this is the one. But I'm telling you, you need to have those conversations. I'm telling you, you need to put them in that hot seat. You need to know that someone is going to guard your heart, thick or thin. You want that true love, but you might have to work for it. You might have to diligently work for it. You might have to put all your ducks in a row and say, look, we need to discuss things so I feel safe, so you know my boundaries. You need all that. And then attraction. You are attracting the right person at the right time in your life. So maybe this last card is telling me, maybe this person can give you this love that you're looking for. Maybe. But what you need to be doing is having that conversation. Do it like that. Having that conversation about the things that are in your life that are really not healthy. Just a second. Okay. I don't know how many times the phone has rang. I am so sorry. You can probably see how the candle's gone down. All the crap. So, my point is, we're going to ask, is this the right person? And the answer is, if you start truly evaluating and taking off that blindfold and seeing the person for who they really are and what they're really doing. Possibly if you have the conversations and they, adjust their behavior, this could be the true love that you're looking for. But they have to be a participant in this whole process, right? They have to be willing to meet you where you want to be. You are attracting, you are attracting the right people. But you're falling fast without that due diligence, and it's leaving you confused, right? But know your worth. Know that you are irreplaceable. You are worth the work. You are worth them really digging deep and finding out, why am I being, secretive? Why am I being sneaky about things? You put them in the hot seat. You make them figure it out if they want to be with you, because you are worth it. You know your boundaries. You know your worth. You know that this could be a great relationship. They have to meet you there. So there you go. You might be with the right person, but they have to do the right thing to be with you. Thank you, Pile 1. Sorry about all the interruptions and everything that's going on. Thank you for being here, and I hope to see you in another reading. Bye. Oh, hi, Pile 2. You might have picked Pile 2 because of this card. You might have picked Pile 2 because of this yellow jasper. And you might have picked it for your zodiac, sun, moon, rising, your favorite planet, your favorite asteroid, anything that you resonate to, whatever brought you here. Welcome. So we're going to do 6 pulls, 6 cards. And these 6 cards are going to help us determine, are you with the right person? So we're going to start with card 1. And card 1 is instinct. What is your gut feeling from the beginning? That's your truth. That's way too many. Truth before rationalizing. What was your gut instinct at the beginning? Is this the right person? What did you think when you first met them? When you first met them, you said, there's the 8 of Swords and there is justice. Okay? That was your, hi, camera. There you go. That was your first thought. Now the territory. What environment does this relationship create for you? How it feels day to day. What's your day to day? Well, it's the Ace of Swords. Okay. Third is the pack. Do you move as a team or do you feel alone? It reveals if you feel supported or do you feel isolated. And you, the Knight of Swords. 4, boundary. What boundary of yours gets crossed or respected? This shows the health of your connection with this other person. Judgment. Hi, right there. Judgment. 5, the Howl. Is your voice heard here or is it silent? This evaluates communication and authenticity, and you got the 10 of Pentacles. It's a cute card. Last one is the path forward. What is the healthiest step for you? Now, there's lots of ways to look at it. You could stay and adjust. You could detach and observe. You could walk alone. You could seek support. You could open the conversation. And you got the High Priestess. So, let's take a look at everything. We're going to start with the instinct. What is your gut feeling in the beginning? Can I hold these two hands? This is telling me you were really nervous in the beginning. When you first met, I'm going to say that in the beginning, you decided, will I or won't I? You really kind of worried about going forward in that decision. You weighed your options and you were really nervous about it. You really thought hard about it. But you were really in your head. But you made that choice. And you chose, obviously, to be with this person. And now you're asking, which really is the heart of this spread, this wolf love spread, are you with the right person? So you made that choice. You really thought hard about it. You really worried about it. Looks like you made that choice, though. But it's interesting that right off the bat, it wasn't this, and it could be, I should finish a sentence. Right off the bat, it wasn't like, oh, I'm going to jump right in. Okay, you worried. And maybe the worry was that your pattern is to jump right in. So you worried about that. Or maybe in the past, you're getting over some relationships that ended up being not the right relationship for you. So you worried about getting into another relationship. You were worried about something, but you chose. You chose this relationship. So let's look at it more. So the environment, the territory, what is your day-to-day like? The Ace of Swords. So this tells me that you guys are pretty straightforward in your day-to-day. You are very frank, or they're very frank with you. You kind of like their mind. I think this is telling me that you really do like the way they think. You like their mind. You like the things that you talk about. They're easy to talk to. That's a good thing. Let's look at another one. So we're going to look at the pack. Do you feel like you're moving as a team, or are you moving alone? Do you feel supported or isolated? So the Knight of Swords is kind of telling me that you do champion each other in public situations. One of you might be a little more impulsive with your words or ideas, but not necessarily are you feeling alone in this. Since you are having these conversations, you are talking quite intellectually. It looks like you guys do have that conversation. I don't necessarily see you being alone in this. This could be very good, so let's keep going. Number 4, boundary. Are your boundaries being crossed or respected? This is the core health of the connection. So it looks like there has been a wake-up call, or there has been a moment in your relationship where you really had to put your foot down and say, this is my boundary that you cannot cross. This is the line. It looks like this is your make or break point. This is not point now, but this is, you've had the discussion where it's like, if this ever happens, I'm out. If you ever do this, there's no going back. It looks like you've had that conversation. They know where your boundary is for sure. They know exactly, and you voiced it, what you will and won't accept. So it looks like the health of your relationship, as far as conversation goes, you've had those conversations. So this, like, you've got a lot of swords here. So it looks like you are moving forward, right? Because you're going from, an 11 to a 20. The 2s are going forward. This is the next step, in as far as the 2s go. You're moving forward in choice. So yeah, you are progressing. You have laid down the law. You've said, this is, what I will and will not accept. You look very cerebral, the both of you, if you want to know. So 4. So now we're going to go to 5. And 5 is the howl. It is your voice. Can you express yourself, or do you feel like you have to be quiet? What is your communication? And this is saying the 10 of Pentacles. So it looks like you're very, very grounded. You're very loving. You understand the bigger picture. So it looks like you can express yourself, that you are being heard. But I think it's in the context of the bigger picture, where you think about how that's going to affect both your families or your friends or your circle. You're thinking long term. You can be authentic. If there was a situation where you felt maybe you couldn't say something, it might be because of other family members. Like maybe you can't talk about their parents. Like maybe the parents are a little controlling, or maybe the parents are a little opinionated. That might not be something that you can readily talk about with them. That might be something. Brother or sister maybe is a little meddling. Maybe it's a little more influential in your relationship that you like. Maybe you have a hard time talking about that, but it looks like you want to fit in. So you're trying very hard to make that part work. You probably are saying, because you guys do have a lot to talk about. You do enjoy each other's company, so you do have a lot to talk about. I'm just saying there might be some subjects that are a little harder because they're a little closer to the heart. But that's something to think about. And then the path forward. This is the resolution card. This is saying, what is your healthiest next step? Now, the High Priestess is the one that you've got all the 2s. Do you notice that? So you've got the first 2, the second 2, and the third 2. The second 2 and third 2 are moving forward. This is the first 2, your next step. This is saying kind of maybe even pulling back a little bit and observe. Sits. She might be thinking things, but she sits. She doesn't act like the Justice who weighs the 2s. The Judgment who acts on their decision. The High Priestess kind of sits between knowing and not knowing. You're kind of waiting. You're kind of being stay and adjust or observe. You're not really thinking about going. You're kind of like watching possibly the family dynamic. I don't know why this one keeps coming up for me, but it's the only pentacle maybe. We are missing water here. So that might tell me, are you in, let's go there. There's no water here. So is this the hesitancy? Are you sitting there saying, how deep are our emotions? How deep are they? Because it's not showing up. You guys are very intellectually, very into your head. You're probably very smart, but you're probably thinking, and this might have been why the 8 of Swords came up. You're probably thinking, well, how deep are these emotions? Like, we enjoy each other's company. We enjoy each other's ideas and talking and stuff. But where's the emotion there? There's no cups here. Right? You made the choice. You've intellectually talked about your boundaries. You have this. You can talk about a lot of things, maybe not family as much, but you can talk about a lot of things. And now it says, well, what's the path forward? Well, you're just kind of sitting and waiting. I think you're wondering, how deep are the emotions? Like, you can talk till you're blue in the face to say how much you care for somebody, but is that feeling there? How deep is it? Right? That might be the only question you might be having. And you're kind of waiting it out. Right? You kind of, maybe you feel that there is, but you're waiting for a sign, or you're waiting for something to happen. Maybe you're sitting there. Maybe. Let's ask some more questions, right? Let's find out, like, where is the emotion? What else do we need to know? Okay, I'll take those. We need to know. Let's see. We need to know first impression, Ace of Roses, and we have the host. Who are you? So this is telling me what you think of the other person. Okay, so first impression. So we have the Emperor. So this is a very strong individual. I mean, just very assured. And your first impression is the Ace of Roses, Ace of Wands. And you're like, you are really turned on by them. You really find them very intriguing. You like their energy. When you first met them, I don't want to say turned on by them. Stop pushing it there. You were very intrigued by them. You loved their energy. You loved their presence. You were you're very into them. But when that could be, it's still not water. It's still not emotion. I mean, that could be lust. I mean, maybe that's the part where you had a hard time deciding if you were going to go with them, because this is saying lust. You really thought they were something else. I'm going to try again, see if there's any deep emotion here, because you really need that. If you're going to stay here, you're sitting waiting for it. It's like, is it beyond lust? I'm going to use that. Is it beyond lust? Is this relationship the purpaha? Is this relationship more than, us having great conversations, us having great bedroom things? Is it beyond that, right? Is there emotion? And we have another swords. Okay, so we're not getting any. We are not getting cups. We are not getting emotion here. Something to think about. Queen of Mirrors, the bitch. Okay. All right, so that's funny. So there is a female presence here that might be stopping either one of you. Is this part of the Ten of Pentacles that I'm kind of feeling? Is there like a really hard mother presence, and so the person is just like a little like mummy issues? Am I seeing mummy issues here? Oh my. Or is there an ex? Okay, it's either one. It's mummy issues or it's an ex. Either one is in the background delaying that emotional connection that you want. Something is there? Was it such a terrible breakup? I'm not saying that they are doing anything with it if it's an ex. I am not saying that. I am saying that maybe they were so hurt by her, him, whoever. They are so hurt by their ex that they really feel guarded. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's way too many. Not doing that. Stop that. Like, how much were they hurt? Or is it like, when I say mommy issues, is the mother really harsh with whoever they bring home? And so they don't feel like they can get close because, am I doing that upside down? Certainly. What am I doing? Did they? Yeah. Okay. We split them somewhere. Oh my God, please don't be weird. All right, here we go. Let's get some more, because we really want some emotion coming up here. We really want something that says, hey, this can happen. Hey, this is, wow, that was great. Let me get these. Okay, let's start. All right, so we have holding back. There you go. I should have expressed myself better. Well, you guys are expressing wonderfully, but I think when it comes to emotion, there is a holding back right here, and you're waiting for that emotion to pop up to say, hey, we can move forward. You're the right person, but it's not coming. Somebody's holding back. They are holding back. They might be thinking, here, should I get in camera? They might be thinking more about maybe expressing. They haven't done it yet. Disagreements. I wish you understood how I feel. So when it comes to you guys talking about feelings, because you guys can talk about a ton of stuff, but when it comes to feelings, it looks like that is just not something you're doing. You're arguing, you're dancing around the subject, but you're not talking about the subject. And that is something that you're both feeling. You're feeling it. You don't know how to talk about it because there's no cups here. There's no emotion here. And you want to talk about it. Commitment. I want you to be a part of my future. They want this. Or you want this. I'm guessing you want this. You want a commitment. You want something emotional to say, we are emotionally connected. And I think that's part of your high priestess right here. You want what they are not giving you for whatever reason. Well, this reason. And they're holding back. Ugh. Give me some more. Okay. Well, trust. Guard your heart. Not everyone deserves your trust. Well, see, that might have been what you were thinking when you first met them. Can I trust them? Can I trust them to hold my heart? And you are not getting the cups. You are not getting the emotion to know that when something hard, emotional comes up, that they are going to hold you and protect you and want you to not hurt because of something they did or said. Right here. Hold on. All right. Well, let's see if I can remember. Guard your heart. Not everyone deserves your trust. Like I say, I think that was the 8 of Swords. I hope I explained that. I just don't remember. So, proposal. So, an offer or proposal in the near future that comes as a surprise. So we had commitment here, right? I want you to be a part of my future. And then the proposal, an offer or proposal in the near future. So it looks like you guys are moving towards this proposal. It looks like you might get that proposal, but I think you really need to sit on that decision. And the reason I say that is because there is no cups here. I understand that you find that your partner hot, right? And you love your conversations with them. You love, I don't even look at the camera. I am so sorry. So if I'm off doing silly things, please just listen. So there's so many things you find wonderful. You've told them your boundaries. Everything's going great. Possibly their family just, loves you. It's great. Everything's great. But you're still sitting here and you're not making that decision. And we both know why, because there's the emotion here is not showing up. There's something emotionally not showing up here. And that is going to be part of the conversation that you are going to have. Hi, camera. You have to have this conversation. You have to find out how deep is the emotion, because just getting a proposal, a commitment, just getting a ring, whatever it is that this represents for you might not be enough. They might be the right person, but you need that conversation. You really do. And maybe that emotion is there. Maybe that emotion is, really deep, really true. But you need to find that out before you make you need to trust your heart to know that this is the right decision, no matter how hot they are. You need to know that is your person. And emotionally, they will be there protecting your heart. You need to know that. That's my only advice. Is this the right person? It really looks like it, but you need to know where that emotion is. Thank you. Thank you, Pile 2. Thank you for being here, and I hope to see you in another reading. Hi, Pile 3. You might be drawn to this pile using your intuition with this card. You might be here because you really like marble. And you might be here because Zodiac, Sun, Moon, Rising, whatever sign resonates with you that brought you here. That's fantastic. Thank you for being here. So we are going to look at this love spread, wolf love spread. Are you with the right person? We've got 6 cards to look at, possibly more, definitely more. And we're going to answer some questions and figure that out together. So let's start with card 1, and that is the instinct. What is your gut feeling in the beginning? What was it? This will establish the truth before rationalizing, right? Okay, so what did you feel? What did your gut feel in the beginning when you first met? The 4 of Pentacles. Now we're going to look at the territory. What environment does this relationship create for you? Like your day-to-day. What is your day-to-day in this relationship? Is it safe? Is it stressful? Is it confusing? Is it joyful? What is it? Hi. Wow. It's the 6 of Swords. Is that too high? All right. 3rd card is the Pack. Do you move as a team or do you feel alone? You feel supported or isolated? And we got 2. So we got the High Priestess and the 4 of Wands. Fourth, the boundary. What boundary of yours gets crossed or respected? That will show the core health of the connection. How are your boundaries treated? And you've got the Chariot. Okay. And then 5, the Howl. That's your voice. So is your voice being heard or is it silent? Let's evaluate your communication. 10 of Pentacles. Okay, well, we're looking at the last one, and this is the path forward. What is the healthiest next step for you? Do you stay and adjust? Do you detach and observe? Do you walk alone? Do you seek support? Do you open the conversation? Page of Swords. Okay. Sorry, I paused that because of that airplane. I don't know if you picked that up, but wow, it was bugging me. Gone now. So we're going to continue. You can probably see the light has kind of changed a little bit. It's getting more into evening, but it's so beautiful. So, excuse me. So, here we are. 4 of Pentacles. So the 4 of Pentacles, that's your instinct. What was your gut feeling when you saw them? Oh, look at the sun there. I think you felt that you had to hold on to them quite tightly. You saw them and it's like, oh, I'm going to have to keep an eye on them. That was something you wanted. You saw them as like, yes. And you want to hold on them tightly. You want them for yourself. That was your first instinct. It's like, oh, I'm going to grab them and go. Right? Well, maybe. Let's see. Then we have the 6 of Swords, and that's the territory. So your day-to-day. So here, okay, well, let's look at these two because like your instinct was to hold on really tightly to this relationship. It's like, I'm going to grab this. This is something I want. But in your day-to-day, you kind of feel like you want to move forward. You want to move forward. You want it to be easier. You want it to be calmer. I don't want to say that you want to escape. Like sometimes you just need to just get away for a little bit. Like, yes, you're holding really tight and then you feel like, I kind of want to just have some of my own alone time. But kind of feels like that. Kind of feels like you hold on. And it's like, okay, I need to breathe for a minute. You know what I mean? Come here. Go away. It's kind of the energy I'm getting here. So, where is that going? Now we've got 2 more. We got the High Priestess and the 4 of Wands. So this is the pack. Do you move as a team or do you move alone? Together, you really do enjoy each other's company. You really do. You celebrate the little moments. You celebrate, all your milestones. You celebrate these things that you guys do together as a couple. You really do. But then we bring in the High Priestess. And there's a knowing in there, something a little deeper, right? Because there's some control issues. So yes, you're having good time. And yes, you're having all these moments together. But deep down, there's an unconscious knowing. There's something else. And that might be why, sometimes you need this alone time. Maybe you guys are together because you're holding on tight. Maybe you guys are together all the time. And deep down, it's like, yes, we're having a good time all the time. And, we're doing all these things together. But deep down, you're kind of like, if you look, she's looking at the 6 of Swords, who needs her little time to herself sometimes. Okay? So we're getting a little idea of maybe There's something else going on. So we're going to look at the boundary. Oh, hi, camera. I got to look at that sometimes. The boundary is, you have boundaries. You have this no cross line. Is it being respected? Is it being ignored? And the Chariot is saying, oh, you're making sure that like it's going your way. You're making sure that, hey, this boundary is right here. There is no crossing. You're really putting a lot of effort into making sure things are going your way. You're making sure that the outcome of any situation, okay, because you have wonderful situations, but we see, I'm going to show you, we see a lot of control coming in here with these situations. Okay, we see a lot of someone really watching you, someone saying, okay, yeah, no, we're not doing that. We're not going there. They're really driving this relationship exactly the way they want. See where that's going? They're saying we have yeses and nos in this relationship and we're not crossing them. You know, I'm going to be right here, making sure that things are going the right way. Okay, do you, a little bit, maybe. But then we have the Ten of Pentacles, which is the howl, your voice. Is it being heard or is it being silent? Now, the Ten of Pentacles is very happy. It's extremely happy, but it also can be so much happiness that it's the face you put on for everyone else. We are so happy. Oh my word, like nothing wrong here. You know, it's almost too much. It's almost too good to be real. Okay, the Ten of Pentacles, mind you, is family and generations and all these things. And maybe that person learned that relationships need to be controlled. Relationships need to be this way. And everything's good. And so far, everything has been good. But underneath, and I'm going to put her on top, underneath, there's this little knowing to go like, you know, I feel that I can speak up as long as it's the right way, as long as it's the way that everyone sees that we are perfect. Right? If you look here, and I've looked over these and over these, there's no cups here. And that was a problem for pile 2 also. No cups. Cups are emotion. So we've got some grounding, some day-to-day, everything seems to be going great. And then you've got wands. So you've got some, and you've got swords. So far in this perfect little life, perfect little relationship, there's no emotion. I want you to think about that, because now we're going to look at 6, and that's the path forward. What's the next healthiest step for you? So the Page of Swords, that's mind. So that's curiosity. It's maybe asking questions. Maybe it's being curious as to, hey, why don't we ever venture out and do some things that aren't exactly safe or controlled? Why don't we ever talk about our emotions? Why don't we ever, it's asking the questions. And I think what this is saying is that there needs to be questions answered to say, are you the right person? Because it seems like there's control here. And when something is being controlled, then a lot of times the questions that need to be asked, the hard questions, are avoided because emotions are hard to control. So I think the next step is to be curious about why there is no cups here. Why is there no big emotions here? You got some control. and a little more control. On the face of it, you guys, can I do this? Yeah, on the face of it, you guys are, you know, doing great. Anyone on the outside would say, oh, they're such a great couple. They're always together. They're always doing things. Yeah, no, they're a great couple. But you're kind of going like, yeah, you know, like, I might need a little more. I might like to try things that maybe I'm not going to be good at. You know, when you have control, when you have too much control, it's because you're afraid of making mistakes. And sometimes mistakes are how you grow. Mistakes are how you learn about yourself. So let's see what we got. We have 7 of mirrors. The 7 of mirrors, which is a 7 of swords. It's another sword. Yeah. Comes up and it says, for the wrong reasons. You might be doing things for the wrong reasons. And I'm talking about control because we are still talking about swords. We are still talking not about emotions. We are talking about swords. So doing things for the wrong reasons. There's deception there, but I think it's self-deception. Okay. And then we have the Queen of Flutes, the caregiver. Here we finally got a cup. Now, who is that? The Queen of Cups is very caring and she has emotions under control, but she is emotional. She loves, and she loves to love. She loves to take care of people. So who is that? It could be that this is really what you want. You want to take care. You want to be seen as an emotional person. So we'll keep going. 6 of flutes. Well, we got a 6 of cups. Butterflies. Something from your past. Okay? So maybe we're talking about someone in your past who is very near and dear to you. Maybe they have really put it right in order. They really influenced you that you want to be this caretaker. And maybe in the beginning of your relationship, right? Maybe in the beginning of your relationship, there was more emotion, that emotional connection, but now it's turned into something that is more controlling. The question here becomes, what changed? Did something in the past change where you were this emotional being, right? In the beginning, you were the emotional being, and then that got pushed aside because we need to have these appearances in public. We need to show that we are the power couple. We need to show we've got it all together. And maybe the emotions got pushed down because in the beginning, you know, this is saying that that emotion was there, that was really what brought you two together. And then it got a little bit tighter. You kind of felt that maybe you couldn't speak up, or maybe it wasn't appropriate to speak up. But deep down, you still have this beautiful heart. Deep down, you really care about your partner. You really do. It's just that something else is laid over it. So we do have hearts. We do have hearts, but it seems like those hearts are yours. That you still want the emotional depth that seems more controlling now. You want that emotional freedom. To go where you can express yourself a little freer. But we want some answers. Like, is this the right person? You do care so much for them. It just seems that the relationship has changed and you're waiting. You're waiting for something to happen here. You're waiting. So, what are you waiting for? Okay. Let's grab these the way they came out. There's the mystery. Haha. We're going to start with reflection. Being away from you has allowed me to gain clarity. So, what this tells me is that these two might be together. So the Six of Swords, where you feel like you need to be separated a little bit sometimes, maybe that's your way of grounding yourself and getting some clarity about your connection. You get, right? Because you know that there's something here. You're not making a choice on it, but you know subconsciously, hey, I need some alone time. I need away time. And in those moments, you're getting some clarity. Neglected. I failed to give you what you needed. So I think maybe they'll realize that you need more of this. You need more of that emotion. You had it before, but then it got controlling, right? And then it became, well, we have to keep up appearances because, people think we are the power couple. We have everything together, and you neglected emotionally, you neglected what you really needed, which was that emotional connection. It now became keeping up appearances. It now became showing everyone else how tight you were. And I think the emotional part of it got neglected. Irreplaceable. The way you love can never be matched. So, right? You are a power couple. But you want that love. You want what you had in the beginning. You want that emotion to be there. And then, whoops, shadow side, you made me realize my flaws. That can be hard. Especially if it's one-sided, especially if this control is about trying to make you and them perfect in everyone else's eyes. And yes, maybe you realize some things about yourself. Maybe there was some growth there, but you need some love there. Okay? You need some love there too. We need a few more. We need to know where this is going. It really seems that the base of all of this is love. You're realizing some things though. Like in time, there's some things that really you need to have that conversation about, right? You really need to use your voice to bring up those things. Anything else we need to know? Okay. Give it that way. I like that. Okay. Get over there. Well, you have passion. Keep the flame of passion alive. It is the heartbeat of love. So that when there's a lot of control, there's not a lot of passion. And it looks like you really do want it. You remember it. You want it back. Passion can't be controlled. You can't control yourself into passion. You can't control a relationship into passion. You can't hold it so tightly that the flame doesn't get any oxygen and burns, right? You want that passion. Star. Your hope and optimism are the powerful love magnet for you right now. It looks like even though this is, you're gaining this clarity. Hi, where you go? You're gaining this reflection. You're gaining this clarity. You're seeing your flaws. Or not flaws. Shadow side is not necessarily flaws. It says flaws. But it can also mean you're seeing some things in you that you can change, right? And you're having this clarity. And this is saying you can be hopeful and optimistic, and they might see that hope and optimism as very attractive. Very attractive. That might be the way that you are going to get their passion, right? Is this hope and optimism. This is what you want. And it looks like you can bring that to your partner. Maybe they won't hold on so hard and be afraid of mistakes, or being afraid of what other people think, or being afraid of not being the power couple because somebody might say something, think something, do something that, they take offense to. So here we are. You're saying, look, we really just need to focus on ourselves and allow ourselves to make the mistakes and make the passionate choices for us, right? You're having all these thoughts. But let me tell you the last one. Twin flame. Trust the magnetic pull of your twin flame. It will guide you towards them. So I think this is the final card, because it really tells me that sometimes when people are holding on really tight is because they don't trust themselves or the relationship enough to give it air to grow and breathe. And this is saying that trust the other person. Trust that you have the love, you have the emotion, you have what you need to grow into a better couple, into a more loving couple, and into a more fulfilling relationship. You have that spark, you have that flame, you have that fire. Trust it. You don't have to control it. You don't have to micromanage it. You don't have to do all these things to keep the relationship in check. Like, have some fun. Have some passionate date nights, not just the ones that are cool and fun and, like what everybody else is doing. Have something that really makes your heart go, oh my gosh, I've always wanted to just sit under the stars at night, have a little mocktail and just listen to guitar music and just relax and just be together and just see where it happens. Wink, wink. I think this is a great relationship. You just got to give it room. You just got to give it time to breathe. And I think you are with the right person, but you need to calm the heck down. You don't have to control everything. Everything is going to work out if you just stay heart-centered. Be careful with each other's hearts. Be mindful of whose heart is in your hand. And I think once you realize that you can be together and be passionate together, that you're going to be even a stronger couple. Thank you, Pile 3. That was very fun. Thank you for being here, and I hope to see you in another reading.